lap against the new shores of Grunhelm, the mountain city turned port town. You can already hear the walla of a confused and concerned crowd as your ship draws near. Aboard the tusked whale, a billy goat Zoenveer wrings out wet fur dangling from his forearms, just now catching his breath after the harrowing events of the evening. What are the rest of you up to aboard the ship as you're slowly making your way towards Grunhelm?
Oh, we picked up the billy goat. Zoenveer, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's on board. The tusked whale, I don't think this has come up. The tusked whale is the name of your ship
Oh.
that you're currently on.
Okay.
At least that's the name that it's been emblazoned with by Talos.
I think I'm going to bring towels over to, or whatever resembles towels.
Towels exist, yeah.
Well,
there
I
are
mean,
linens.
I was wondering if there are any on this ship.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll bring him some towels.
Yeah, you come up with some towels and hand them to the figure. He's like patting himself dry. He's like, thanks. How in Soul's End did you do that?
Do what?
Ancient dead languages, mostly.
Right. How did you know it talked?
Oh, that was a chance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big gamble.
Wow.
What happened?
Well, I'm from Loamhaven. Me and my crew, the Cliffstriders, we wanted to get a Seeker's Edict from the Seekers Guild. So we went to the station, to the guild hall, and they told us, they hadn't heard from Grunhelm in a while, and they needed somebody to go check it out and bring back proof of its continued existence or destruction. So we set out, and it was a pretty long journey. We came down the land bridge from Loamhaven and around the coastline, and we were half a day's hike outside of the city when we set up camp for the night, and there was this major earthquake that evening, then screaming. Deagle, one of my friends, he got caught underfoot, and
Oh, yeah. I think we found him. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, I haven't really had a chance to go back and gather things.
I'll pull out the half of the Seeker's Edict that we found at the camp. Was this y'all's?
Yeah, this was ours. Me and Lorcan, we caught up to the thing and thought maybe if we could scale it, then get to the top and find some proof of what was happening and bring that back. But we maybe got almost to the knees before Lurkan fell, and I was basically just hanging on for dear life until you guys came along.
Well, I'm glad we didn't decide to do that.
Yeah,
that was one option.
Not the best choice in hindsight. In the moment there was a lot of adrenaline.
What's your name?
I'm Finley Hurtstep.
I'm Arctic. This is Magnus, Sersha, and Brody.
It's nice to meet you.
Sorry
And
about
I'm Talos. He waves.
What happened to Lorcan?
I don't know, he fell. We were pretty high up. I haven't seen him.
Were you over land when he fell, or?
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't reach the sea until the end there.
Well, maybe he landed in something soft and.
Maybe. I mean, there was tree cover. He just kind of disappeared into that. So maybe.
Fingers crossed.
At about this time, you are pulling up to the new shore. There's no docks or anything, but a little ways offshore actually is where Talos would weigh anchor, and he calls out to all of you and
Get in the dinghy.
yeah, kind of cuts this conversation short as you all go about your duties on the ship. Talos once again will stay with the ship as he lowers all of you down. I think Finley's gonna go with you if you'll allow them to join.
All right, push it down.
Not again!
I just lost everyone I knew.
Now you've lost your balance.
get better at striding cliffs.
Yeah, I mean, you get the sense that that's the only reason that he was able to hold on. There was like a little knot at the end of the rope that his billy goat feet were holding on to. He is technically like a mountain goat, and that is the only thing that kept him in place on that rope in the winds.
Oh, just little,
Yeah,
like, feet on the
the
knot.
smallest foothold. As you row ashore and disembark from your vessel, you're walking amongst town folk that are obviously shaken and traumatized. You can see that there is brick street, but there are large fissures through it, and like sections of it are completely offset from one another. Where like clearly, like it looked from the distance like Bromthir set the place down as gently as he could, but there was still moving stone, and things have certainly shifted from their original layout. Amidst the obvious trauma that's going to require years of therapy probably for anyone to recover from, the ground I was standing on came to life and walked away. There are a lot of people who are thankful to be on solid ground. There's an equal mixture of those who have clearly lost others that were close to them and those who are just thankful to be alive. And that's not necessarily two separate groups.
Do I know if there's like a Seeker's Edict guild here?
Yes, the Seekers Guild in Grunhelm is what you were sent to
Oh,
fight.
to actually find them. Okay.
And as you're kind of like walking through town,
Didn't figure it out. Yeah.
there's a large cluster of people in what looks like it was maybe once the town square. There's a large fountain that's no longer functioning. There's no water coming out of it. It's just the stone itself, and most of the water seems to have splashed out and wet the ground surrounding it. And standing kind of up on that ledge is a woman with pale green skin and dark green horns that seem to jut straight up from her brow. She's got really, really long, dark hair that's sort of in one like thick ponytail that goes, it's like up on her head, but goes all the way down like past her butt. She's standing up, and there's this crowd of people standing around her. She's calling out, "Please, everyone, remain calm. The worst is past, but there's still a hard road ahead of us. We need 3 groups. One on search and rescue, that'll be the Seekers Guild. Another to take stock of damages, and the third to tend to the injured. So anyone with medical training will have you standing by for those who are caught beneath rubble still." As she's speaking, you hear this sort of hushed murmur begin to wash through the crowd as you're all approaching. Very clearly, like everyone here is like covered in dust and very haggard, and all of you are still like pretty pristine and just kind of like stepping up. And you hear whispers through the crowd of people saying things like "world shapers, stone forged," as you approach, and they sort of part. The woman looks across the crowd at you. "You there, were you in the city, or are you from the ship?"
Oh, we're from the ship. We were sent here by the Seekers Guild in Longhaven.
Oh, good. Then she like steps down, the crowd parts for her. She walks over, and who's standing like, I guess she'll walk up to Saoirse since you answered, and she holds out a hand and clasps and shakes. She does like the full, yeah. Kiva, Sharpstrand.
Saoirse, this is Magnus and Arixavir. You alright?
What was her last name? You said Kiva, sorry?
Sharpstrand.
You have been falling all over yourself whenever we meet women.
She chuckles at this as well.
I get real red.
Finley like shakes as well.
Is she like super dirty? Like with dust and...
Yeah. And seeing her up close.
Saucy is she?
Seeing her up close, she's also got like a cut over the eyebrow, and sort of like pale greenish blood has just trickled down the left side of her face.
If she's like reaching to shake my hand, I'm gonna like press digitate her clean before she touches me.
Yeah, she like is taken aback for a second, and is like,
Sorry, you were dirty.
"Thank you, I appreciate that. I know a lot of others would appreciate that as well if you could hang around and offer your services."
We'll see.
I kind of want to punch you a little bit.
I also I might grab him by the shoulder.
All right.
Sorry about him. He's Book
not
smart.
used to people.
No, it's fine. Finley speaks up and he's like, I should specify I'm not technically with them. Just also was helped. He kind of like shows his little broken temporary Seeker's Edict.
His group was the first to take action to try and help you all.
I see. Well,
Actually, there should be 2 other groups as well. Did anybody else make it to the mountain?
Which group were you in? 1, 2, or 3?
they said that they had sent out 2 groups before us, but we haven't, found any evidence of anyone. There was a pretty mangled body that we found along the land bridge on the way. Looks like maybe some vulgarities got to it, but that may have been, dangers of the road. It's not.
If y'all were there when it came out of the ground, what happened to the first 2?
I'm not sure. And
You
Kiva's
may
like,
not have even made it that far.
Kiva's like, well, it wasn't a sort of quick event, if that makes sense. There was a major earthquake, we thought. I don't know how long it's been.
Fortnight ago?
That feels about right. It's been about that many moon cycles. That's when it began. There was a major crack and shift, and the cliffs started to appear as we didn't know it yet, but we were actually rising. We thought perhaps there was an earthquake and the mountain was falling away around us, but it slowly began to rise. That was the first major juncture. We started evacuating as many people as we could, but a lot of people didn't want to leave their homes, and it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 days after that things really took off. So you said you're all here on behalf of the Seekers Guild in Loamhaven.
Mm-hmm. Is there any survivors of the local one?
Oh yes, we're currently on search and rescue for. There was a lot of shifting and more buildings collapsed during the traversal. It's really been 2 weeks of hell. But now that we're on solid ground again, we can start efforts less in vain. We could really use an envoy. Finley, was it? Yeah? Here. And she reaches into her pocket and takes out this small, it looks very similar to the temporary Seeker's Edict. It's like this small slab of a dark, like slate kind of stone that has this intricate sort of knot-like design carved into it. She hands that to Finley. She's like, if you take this back to the Seeker's Edict in Loamhaven, you'll see that your mission is complete and you should be able to get your edict. Right, thanks. What about, and he kind of like looks at all of you guys who had the same job, and she's like, don't worry, I've got that covered. There's normally a lot more pomp, circumstance, and ceremony to this, but I've got a few on hand, and like reaches into the like long jacket pocket that she's got on the inside, and she pulls out this small sort of opalescent medallion that has a vein of gold running through the center. Similarly carved with a very intricate knot pattern that sort of spirals to the center where there's a 4-pointed star. As she holds it out in her palm, you see as Finley himself is taken aback. He like kind of gasps and steps back for a second. For stopping that creature from whatever it was doing, I think that is well enough a task to grant you your own Seeker's Edict. And as the guild master, I bestow this upon you. And she'll just hold it out for whoever is going to take it.
Oh, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Brody and Magnus, you both. Like, okay.
start biting each other, pulling hair.
You got your school. This is my thing. God.
All right.
We could really use an envoy to King Aed Lochbrana to send for aid. We can't repay you for what you've already done for us, World Shapers, but know that songs of your deeds here will echo through the history for generations to come.
Cool.
So, do we need a name now?
If you've got your temporary Seeker's Edict, then you should already have at least a placeholder, but if you'd like to update it, you can do so in Loamhaven where they've got your records. Or I can do so here.
I think you've got your hands full.
Yeah, the guild hall has collapsed, and there is money inside that we could pay you, but we'll have to get to it first, and before looters. So, again, anything that King Ayed could send from Loamhaven in order to aid us would be much appreciated. The Seeker's Edict should get you access to a council that you might request this aid and fill him in on what it is that's happened.
So we do get paid for this.
Yes.
So
The
do
Seeker's
we come
Guild.
at you later, or the regular?
The Seeker's Guild in Loamhaven. It's just another chapter, but once we're back on our feet, the record should be shared between the guilds yet again.
Your name is what again?
Kiva.
It's nighttime now.
Yes.
Why don't we just try to help out some, take a rest, and set off in the morning?
Sure.
Yes. Anything we can do for now.
Certainly. If any of you have medical training, then there are lots of injured that need to be tended to. Also, we've got search and rescue in a lot of the collapsed structures to search for any survivors who might be buried within. If you got muscle, lifting debris off of those we find. There's plenty of work to be done. And she kind of like nods to you. She gives this odd sort of salute where she puts her right fist kind of up to her left shoulder and nods before turning and going off to tend to other disasters nearby.
The wrong fist.
You should mirror her. What do each of you attempt to do to help, or are you just chilling?
We'll pick up heavy stuff.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check. We won't do like a full skill challenge or anything like that.
11.
Yeah, you find a structure that appears to be, it appears to actually be the Seeker's Guild building that has collapsed. And you can hear that there are survivors inside. You get that alert from another group that's in the area and are pretty much just in a line. You're probably at the front, hefting large stones and then passing them to others who are just kind of like tossing them aside. There's like a pile of rubble being built up as people are being uncovered. What about the rest of you?
I want to see if I can find any animals, like chipmunkies or
Skittermonks, you mean?
skittermonks, yes. Skittermonks or sheep rats, also known as shats. Curly-haired rats. And ask them to help find survivors and like crawl through cracks and debris where other
really
people
good.
can't get to.
Yeah, you do find a small little cluster of skittermonks that were present when everything went down and had nowhere to run. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. I didn't test my dice. I have no idea how they're rolling.
You're rolling blind.
I'm doing persuasion? That's a nat 20.
You approach and ask for their aid, and they like nod and agree, and you see as two of them skitter off, as skittermonks are known to do, before coming back with like 30 more of them that were just kind of like in various like trees, and like some were in these little fallen structures as well, where they had just like taken cover in little areas, and they just like gather a small army that begin climbing through debris with their nimble, agile little
I give
fingers.
them rations. Start handing them out.
You raised an army. A tiny army.
Yeah, it's this really.
What's the thing in the 101 Dalmatians where they like do the call?
The Twilight Bark. Yeah, it's. I don't think that you guys are even aware in this moment of, like, there was that thing that Kiva said, but I don't think even you, because you've just busy yourselves, are aware of like the legend that is already beginning to grow around this group of heroes who arrived, spoke to the mountain and calmed it. It set the city down, and now there's like this really like tall, ethereal creature who's just like stalking through with swarms of skittermonks who are climbing into buildings. This incredibly buff, like fire woman made of fire is like lifting stones and like pulling people out of rubble.
Like I'm a firewoman.
A lot of pressure.
What are the two of you up to?
Kick back, little drink.
Yeah. No,
So tired.
I'm gonna take testimonials from survivors while also cleaning them.
Excellent. Yeah, go
Offer-
I
ahead.
guess that's
some
kind of wound care.
Giving them some comfort.
How do you feel? Oh, you were scared? Okay. You're clean.
We did establish the prestidigitate has a sound.
Oh yeah.
Did you just? Be well.
Don't worry. It's not gross.
It's perfectly natural.
You clean.
It's not gross. It's not. It's perfectly normal. Don't cringe.
Still working on the audio.
As you
Work in progress.
as you're doing this, make this is unrelated. Make a perception check.
Maybe it'll make the children laugh and cheer them up.
Kids love farts.
It definitely does. You get a lot of giggles from the younger crowd.
8?
Eight is enough. As every
Yay!
time you press the digitate, you kind of look. There's like this little triage tent basically that's been set up that's open. There's a line of people outside, and you're taking testimonials of what happened to each individual before then prestidigitating them clean. And every time you wave your hands, there's a little, and you look outside, and among this like crowd of skitter monks, a little orange figure stands up as you see the puckered face of a cringe weasel, just like. Skitters away.
I forgot about the cringe weasels.
I don't know why in my head I have it. You're trying to like press the digitate and kill. He's like, what? Oh no! Like, damn it!
That mage
What
ain't
in
right.
the hell are you doing?
It's Javal. It's Javal.
That mage ain't right. I sell queso and queso accessories. Go ahead and pertaining to your actual aid,
Remember the cringe weasel.
go ahead and make a. I'll say your choice of either a charisma or intelligence check.
Get new dice.
8?
I think the kids it has a better effect on bringing them a sense of levity to the 2 weeks of straight hell that they've endured at such a young age. The man who has the good smelling funny farts from his hands is really the joy that they needed. The adults, however, are incredibly anxious and traumatized, and some of them are actually really annoyed by the sounds. It's like you just start doing your best to try and like dampen them, but on an 8, you
They
know,
have like PTSD.
there's.
It's like, oh shit!
I know that we talked about this privately, but I think after this event, Magnus is definitely going to go through his notes on his spells and try and find basically like that line of code that's having this incidental sound and try and strike it and rework this spell from the bottom up to get rid of that. Or at least find how to make it
How to customize it.
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell good. Sound bad.
Sound natural? Question mark.
Yeah.
Coming out as a moan instead.
A chorus of moans.
When you should be good, like doing it, the kids enjoyed it. Now it's the opposite.
I'm starting to
Don't
think
do it
that
to
I
kids.
fell asleep and I'm not awake yet. This is a dream I'm having.
It's a fever dream. I'm so sorry.
What about Brody? What do you get up to?
Yes, I'm gonna go with the Seekers, kill people, and like look for people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course you are. Hanging out with Kiva.
Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage.
I still haven't slept.
Okay, so this will be a straight roll.
Yeah.
I forgot you're exhausted.
13?
13's not bad. In the same way as the others, there are going to be children telling stories about the man who cleaned them without, they got them clean without having to take a whole bath, and the funny sounds. And then there's the tall one with the creatures and the strong lady. There's an equal sort of sense among the other members of the Seekers Guild in Grunhelm of this unassuming man who, you're like fit and in like a wiry sense.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a beard dusting the chin and face. But you seem to have this sort of uncanny sense of being able to seek people out that are trapped in spaces that you can't, these other dudes don't hear anything. The reasoning that they don't understand is that you get to certain areas and then a little voice dings up in your mind and he's like, ooh, searching is fun. It's kind of like its own little adventure. I hear a heartbeat coming from that direction. And as Sonder in your mind is sort of like guiding you towards people whose hearts are still beating when you get within a certain vicinity of them. And yeah, there's like this uncanny ability to find survivors who are not even conscious, but are still alive beneath the rubble. It's a long night. I think probably all of you go for as long as you can until the sun begins to peek up over the horizon. The sky starts to bleed from dark bluish black to the orange of sunrise as it begins rising. All of you are incredibly tired. Go ahead and make me some more Constitution saving throws, difficulty of 10.
15.
10.
Nice.
7.
11.
Excellent. Brody, you take another
Oh no.
level
2?
of exhaustion
That's not
as
good.
your speed is halved. Going all through the night when you were already exhausted, and each time Sonder finds someone, you feel like it's kind of draining you in a way. And
It's cool.
you've really slowed your pace. Eventually Kiva finds you and she's like, you should get some rest. Come on, it's been a long night and I appreciate all that you've done, but you and your friends should really take a break. It's not good to just keep pushing yourselves like this. Over by the triage, we've got some cots set up for those who've been displaced or whose homes are no longer safe. So you're more than welcome to find your rest there.
Thank you. You're very green.
Yeah, only recently, but yes.
Yeah.
She kind of like gathers you all up, unloads Brody
I'm gonna
onto
pick
you
Brody
guys.
up like a baby.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, and fucking Saoirse's got a pump going on too. She's been lifting stones all
I have
night.
a sheen.
Is there anything else that you guys get up to, or anything that you discuss with one another as you reconvene in this sort of public triage space? There's like cots set up side by side. People are sleeping in a lot of them. Some are injured, but interestingly enough, it seems like a lot of people with injuries in this space have already been healing up for some time. Like it seems like, based on the conversation you had, there was probably a moment where Bromthir realized that there was a city on his back and was suddenly like, oh shit, and started being a lot more careful. And he's still taking large steps and had a goal in mind, but wasn't like trying to just kill all of these innocent people on his back.
Like the mountain equivalent of tiptoeing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It seems like since the initial incident, there have been fewer injuries outside of, incidental collapses from just footfalls of a giant. So there's plenty of available cots and beds that have been set up for you guys to not feel bad about, taking the space of somebody who's gravely injured.
I can clean us off before we go to sleep. If you want to sleep clean.
Thank
I'm working on it.
Arik is already asleep, like filthy.
I think
Heavily covered.
Just covered in skitter monks.
Yeah, there's about 10 of them.
Curled up.
Yeah, and one cringe weasel looks at Magnus.
Watching you.
Yeah, I still have fucking disadvantage.
That's alright, we're just gonna get on a boat.
Yeah, let's sleep on the boat. We'll have the Billy Goat guy do your tasks on the ship so you can sleep the whole time.
You all find your rest,
Yes.
and it is a deep, deep sleep. Dreamless, thankfully, this time. And wake up the next day feeling a little more rejuvenated. Brody, you can remove that second exhaustion. Still feeling pretty tired, but not nearly as bad as the night before.
Alright, so we head back to Loamhaven.
Before we leave, I'm gonna ask around if anyone has seen any sort of like metal tablets in this town. I'll describe the kind of tablets that I'm looking for.
Yeah, make a.
Are you like asking Seeker's Edict people?
Yeah, I was gonna ask like Kiva or
Yeah.
whoever was left from the Seeker's Edict.
Make an investigation check.
Wait, is it the Seekers Guild and
The Seekers,
Edict?
the Seekers,
something that we
yeah,
have?
the Seekers Guild, the Seekers Edict,
Edict is the thing you-
yeah, that's your medallion.
Got it.
24.
I think you go to Kiva, the guild leader of this chapter of the Seekers Guild. We don't have anything that I know of from around here, but I have heard about these sorts of things. Mostly they're found in ruins that, as long as I'm aware of. Grunhelm has, while we've been a city for quite some time, was actually not built atop any ruins itself. I think there are some in the surrounding areas, but Grunhelm itself is actually a more recent city in the last century or so. I have heard that there might be something similar that was found in Loamhaven some years back that I believe is the property of the House Lochbrana. So perhaps when you're requesting aid, you could inquire and see if maybe they would let you take a look at something like that if they had it.
Very good. Thank you.
Of course.
And if you hear about any others that pop up, do me a favor and send me word about them, please.
Of course. Also, you mentioned last night names. I don't know if you've already got something that you're set on, but I know that the folks around town have come up with a couple of ways that they've referred to you through the night at least. There's sort of one faction who's been calling you World Shapers on account of you're sort of the reason that our little town is a small peninsula now into this part of the ocean. And there's another group that's been referring to you as Stoneforged. So, I don't know if that bears any sway on what you were already thinking, but that's what the people around here are calling you.
Interesting to note. Thank you.
Sure. If you'd prefer, I can give them your chosen name so that we might get the songs right.
Talk about it.
Yeah, did we decide on Emberflare Envoy, or are we still open to suggestions?
Let's just collect new names on every adventure.
Oh yeah, we can be like,
Just have an ongoing list.
yeah, out of game we can be like Daenerys.
Yeah.
With all of like, the titles.
Breaker of Chains. Mother
World
of Dragons.
Shapers, Stoneforged, Emerald Envoy,
Yep.
Cringe Weasel people.
That works.
Cringe Weasel's Bane.
We're like,
I'm gonna wherever kind of the center of town is at this point. Before we head out, any like wooden debris, I'm gonna gather it up and use create flame to just go ahead and get a bonfire going.
Yeah, Kiva okays this and she helps you as you kind of like start piling it up into that fountain. And it basically goes from being a water fountain to now being a brazier that is creating a nice little area of warmth while also getting rid of unneeded debris.
All right, are we ready to head home?
And again, thank you for everything that you've done. And if you don't see fit to return, I'm sure seeking out a Seeker's Edict, you've probably got something in mind of what your next quest will be. But I give you my thanks, and we'll have your payments sent to the Seekers Guild in Loamhaven. Should be within the week.
All right, I guess we reboard the
Tusked Whale.
Tusked Whale. Yeah. You find your dinghy still in place and row yourselves back out to the ship where Talos throws the ropes down and hoists you out.
we taking Finley with us?
That's up to you.
He was gonna.
What is
he was gonna.
like wanting to go with us or what?
He wanted to go to Loamhaven, back to Loamhaven, right?
Yeah,
So-
Finley's been tasked with basically returning to the Seekers Guild with info on everything. He's basically completing the task you were sent out to do, but since in this guild hall's eyes, you carried out a greater task in aiding the city, they just went ahead and gave you your Seeker's Edict.
I mean, he needs to go back, and they already lost 2 groups like going between here and there, and he's by himself. So I think we should at least offer to let him come with us.
Yeah, he gladly accepts, climbs aboard.
It'll be 500. Shit, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna
Make
teach you how to do so many things on this ship. So I like, yeah, you go to sleep.
You're just laying
this.
on the deck.
make an insight check. Whoever is curious.
But
Oh no, he's a murderer.
he killed his team.
8.
11.
15.
19? Oh wait,
Disadvantage.
Hey!
16.
Nice. Yeah, Magnus and Brody, you both notice that for a lot of this voyage, Finley kind of has like his half-broken Seeker's Edict and the new one that he was given from Grunhelm, mulling them over in his strange, like goat-like hands, which are kind of like the fingers are hooved, almost like keratin fingers. There's like a soft kind of clicking as he just kind of mulls them over. The two of you get the sense that, like, in his mind, he's caught in this space of like mission accomplished, but also now I have no team. Like, it at what cost? And you can see him kind of in those moments existentially weighing, do I still want this? Is this the life for me? And yeah, whether or not you approach him about that is up to you, but that's the vibe that you get as he's...
What's his skill set? What does he do?
You're not sure?
I'll ask. What do you do around here?
I'm pretty good with my hands. Growing up, you know, my dad was a carpenter, so I do a lot of woodworking and had a little bit of a rough patch for a while and, you know, did what I had to get by. And I guess that's kind of what I still do. I'm good at getting into places that I'm not supposed to be, but I've gotten in trouble enough times that I figured I'd go the route of, you know, getting there legally, officially. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in these old ruins. And, you know, a lot of them, they're pretty dangerous to go down in for sure. But most often, in my experience, the stuff you find down there is definitely worth it.
Interesting.
But don't worry, I you know, I'm reformed. I'm not going to take any of your stuff or anything like that. You know, I'm in your debt as it stands already. If you hadn't talked that mountain down, I'd probably still be dangling from him up in the sky. Or worst case scenario, would have fallen. And I hear that hitting water from that high up is not as soft as it sounds.
It goes right up your butthole.
Oh. Visibly puckers.
I'll confer separately with the group about what he told me.
We'll say that night after, Brother, you've had time to sleep and get that last bit of exhaustion off. You guys reconvene below decks. He's up. Actually, I'd say Finley's probably sharing some mead with Talos up on deck as you guys are kind of in the barracks below.
You know, they could either be really good for each other or really bad for each other.
It's true. You know, carpenter could be handy to have on the ship to like make repairs on it while we're doing stuff.
You could use maybe a project manager. Some stay on the ship, handle our gold.
I mean, it sounds like he has roguish talents. So, I don't know if we need the services of someone like that, but...
But he
We
told you
don't.
he's reformed.
Right, I'm not saying it as a negative, I'm saying it as like a skill set. Like he could probably get into locked and sealed places, maybe find ancient traps, things like that. Might be like, I don't know.
Sure, but perhaps he doesn't want to be rushing headfirst back into something like that.
Sure, of course. But, you know, I don't know.
Also,
I just wanted to put that on the table for the group to consider.
we haven't told him where it is that we plan on going later. It's not the most popular of destinations, it seems.
Are we going to bring him on our adventure?
Oh, there you are.
I'm always here.
It tickles. It tickles in my brain.
I like it.
What do you think
Like
about
I
that?
can't scratch deep enough.
About Finley? He seems nice enough.
All right.
I'm a great judge of character.
I will say that, along with the judge of character, I know all of you enough to trust you with my life and know that I would die for you. I can't say that about Finley.
I like the cut of his jib. He was dangling from a mountainside when we found him.
You don't get much more adventurous than that.
Indeed.
But
You can like feel the smile.
Don't use that tone of voice in my head.
All right.
It feels smarmy.
Still not as bad as the new press to digitate sounds.
I'm working on it.
How did you make it worse?
It's it's
How long have
complex.
you been in school?
A long time. Look, can you do it at all?
Do you like the idea that wizardry is just coding? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no. Sounds
Absolutely.
like this. Let's redo that. Oh, shit.
Why is it making a sound at all?
Yeah. I'm gonna tinker with it on our voyage for sure.
That does seem like something you have to add.
You're gonna hear like some various hoots and jingles and
Yeah, at some point there's like a weird meld where it's like,
Distinctly. I know a queef when I hear it. All right.
I'm going to get you a duck familiar to help work through these things. I think that helps.
yes, I'll explain it to the duck and I can help.
Maybe we can talk to him about maybe if he wants to join us for a little bit, he can stay on the ship.
I mean, we can. How risky are the waters that we're traveling on? Like, if he were to stay on the boat, is that fine?
Probably. I mean, it would be better than us just leaving Talos by himself on the ship. all
That's
the time.
true. And, you know, maybe they can be friends and then they won't feel quite so lonely.
Out of game, it's like out of game. It's like he's a dog, and you get another dog to keep your dog company when you're at work.
They've been
When you
through
come
the
home-
exact same thing, both of them, right?
Yeah.
maybe, sort of.
But you come home and they've dug through the trash.
Yeah.
Like they both lost people in their adventuring group or whatever.
I don't know that you know that Talos lost anyone.
Okay, I just assumed it.
You just know that he's not with them anymore.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and present the option. We should maybe check with Talos though, because what if he's like, I don't actually like him?
That's true.
That'd be awkward.
Yeah.
You go back on deck and they're like choking each other out.
They both have lipstick kisses on their faces. Like, wait, what's going on?
I will be composing a letter to Edith that I'll send someone out to give to her, like a messenger or whatever, about the connections with
Each other.
Bronthir and Vornholm, the place that they're excavating. Which I know that that based on like the tablets and stuff that I translated, they probably suspect that, but I've pretty much decided that that's what they're excavating, or like the ruins of that. So I'll put all of that in
Yeah, absolutely.
some stuff and send it to her.
And stuff about like the giants maybe being from there. Is that the deal?
Well, it was his home, he said. I don't know if there were more of them or if that was just like where he lived. We don't have the facts yet to draw conclusions about that. But anyway, send.
Yeah, well, as soon as you
Yeah.
make port, which there's another day of travel, so if there's any other like resting or anything that anything you need to take care of as means of resting, you can do so.
Let's ask. We need to ask.
Oh, Talos first.
Yeah,
Awkwardly move around the ship as a group.
yeah. Hey, what do you think about this dude?
Yeah, I think he's good. He seems like good people.
Do you think we should offer him a spot on the ship? He has carpentry skills that could be useful.
That could be useful. I have to admit, I don't really. I did my best, but nothing's leaking. But there are certainly some patches that could use actual repairs. I don't know if he knows anything about, a shipwright's work, or if he just, built chests of drawers.
I
Yeah.
kind of thought it was all like the same.
It's similar. I mean, working with wood is, there are similarities, but there's a difference between building a box and building a boat that has to go on the ocean.
For sure.
Oh, that, when you say it, that makes sense.
Right.
Um,
But, I mean, in terms of his character, he seems like a nice young man.
Is it because there? If he is on the ship, there's probably going to be situations where it's just you two hanging out on the ship for days at a time while
Sure.
we're on shore doing stuff. So we wanted to make sure you were going to be okay with that.
That is fine with me. I've
Okay.
got plenty of dice, and I'm sure he's got plenty of chips, too.
Be careful.
I'm always careful.
I don't think that's true. Actually,
I don't think you've ever been careful.
I've considered it.
He's like cleaning his nails with a knife.
Shit, he's like missing the tips of all his fingers. We're running out of nail to clean.
Well, I guess we can make the offer to Finley then before we land, so he has some time to think about it before we ship off again. Because we need to go talk to the royal family, like the whatever, the house of whatever.
Oh,
people.
maybe we can see Owen again.
Loch
Yeah.
Brana?
Play.
Not if you're going to the castle, probably not.
Oh,
I think he still lives there, but he's not, like, involved.
He was the guy with the lion,
Pangolin.
pangolin.
yeah.
I was like armadillo lion? No, it was something else armored. Pangolin, yes.
It was pleasant.
Did he also have big titties?
Oh, he's ripped.
You can make them
Probably.
bounce.
Owen, he sometimes comes to the Croc's Waddle. If you wanted to find him, you might have a chance there. Or you could at least ask around, see if anybody's seen him, if you have business.
I mean, not specifically. It was kind of just like oh no, we're like in your house. kind
Sure.
of
I
thing.
mean, again, he might be there. I don't know. I've never been to the castle personally. That's, not in some time. But that's very exciting, Rubbing elbows with the nobles.
Only
Good for
for like a minute.
That's all you need.
No, I mean, we're just reporting a thing. It was kind of just I wanted to look at him for a minute. If available.
Finley, come over here.
That's all I need.
Some light oogling.
What's up, guys? We pulling up, land, ho, and all that?
Yeah, in just a minute here. But we wanted to float. We wanted to float the idea
Right.
of you maybe floating with us when we leave
Oh,
on our next mission. We know you were kind of on your own, and you've got some carpentry skills that could be handy on the ship.
And none of us do.
So maybe you could hang out on the ship with us while we go do stuff, while you figure out what you want to do next. If you want.
yeah. Yeah, I've been taking some time because, I've got everything I need to go get a Seeker's Edict, but, when I got into the business, was getting into the business, I was never really like the leader of the group, I was just kind of there, helping, obviously, but yeah, I wasn't really sure where to go without the other cliff striders. But yeah, I mean, I know how to sail. I know how to make repairs. I'd love to join you. Where are we headed?
Well, that is the thing you should hear before you decide.
All right.
Have you ever heard of the ill-fated islands? Ilvermere.
Yeah, the Ember Flare was real rough there. Pretty much had to evacuate. Yeah. I heard that was rough stuff.
It was. That's where we're from.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't
No.
rude.
No.
No, because
Made it up.
we're going back.
Oh. I think there's this anticipation amongst each of you of like a cringe or backing down. Go
Look
ahead.
at that weasel up here.
Like,
It's in Art's hair.
looking for it.
Everybody make an insight check.
14.
14.
Nice.
16.
10.
You're anticipating a quick walk back of his agreement.
Actually, I like to live, so
But you see, there's almost
You only have to stay on the boat. You don't have to come with us.
there's like almost a hint of a smirk at the corner of his goat-like mouth, a little tuft of white beard from his chin. Yeah, that sounds great. I've only heard stories of Ilvermere, but I feel like a lot of people, they go to get a Seeker's Edict because, there's a certain place they want to delve into, a certain place they want to go down. I just kind of want to see it all. There's so much out there. I grew up in Lokvara, in Loamhaven specifically, and kind of, I guess you guys arrived, I guess it was about 15 years ago now. It was really eye-opening. Like, there's whole places out there, people with, different cultures and views and beliefs and all these different things. And I've only ever been here. So when I met Lurkin, who was like, he had the place that he wanted to go down in Caldrunmore, I was like, hell yeah, dude. Count me in. So, yeah, Caldrunmore, Ilvermere, other lands beyond the seas, count me in.
Cool.
all right.
So, do you think you could fix ships with what you know?
Oh yeah,
Okay. So, you'll be our shipwright?
I can do.
Can you cook?
Yeah.
Do I believe him?
Make another
checked
insight check.
Can I check my glove?
You look down, no glowing, nothing appears.
12.
He's like, yeah. You're like, hey, maybe. Do I have to?
No.
No.
Oh, good. I only know how to make 2 dishes.
What are they?
One's crispy, cheesy potatoes,
All right.
and the other one is a leafy salad.
All right. That's not really like a dish that you learn how to make. That's
Well, I make the dressing myself.
oh,
Yeah.
well, that's nice.
Pretty good. So maybe once a week we all,
Oh, we all rotate. I can make fire, and that's about as far as it goes. I can also make a leafy green salad. Those are about.
That's
I
fine.
can
We need
roast
leafy
a
greens.
marshmallow.
don't really stay that long on the ship.
I
No,
can
it's kind of a
use
problem.
magic to flavor the food, but
So
I
even if it's
know that the noise might be not appetizing, so I'll work on that first.
Yeah, maybe just
So
flavor it
I'm
in a different
making
room.
fish half the time. You have a collection of weird nuts and things.
Dried meat.
Talos is like, I will collect some supplies for our journey, and I will handle the cooking. Don't worry.
I'll give him one agate.
Yeah, this goes further than you would think, especially if we're talking spices. I guess while you're doing your royal business, I will take Finley here, and we will go, I guess first by the Seekers Guild, and then we will get some supplies, meet you back on the boat.
I'll give him a turquoise to shop with also.
Oh.
I don't think I ever determined how much money I have. I don't have any written down.
Let's see. As a working blacksmith who makes mostly nails,
Okay.
go ahead and roll 2d10.
3 and a 2.
We'll call it 5 agate, which is the equivalent of $50.
Alright. That goes far in Fantasyland.
What about me?
I don't think your family believes in money.
What money is?
It's like, I have leaves.
6
roll,
acorns and a
roll a d4 to see if
You
you.
randomly found uncut gems. Yeah.
Yeah, roll a d4 just to see. We'll say on a 2, 3, or 4, you'll have that many quartz, and that's purely because you just found it in the woods and it looked pretty.
1.
You got nothing.
All right.
I
I trade in twigs.
I have some funding from the school for this mission.
So I give you money?
They did. That's why I have money. They gave me money to take.
We should probably request some money.
I mean, we'll request payment from the Seekers Guild when we get there.
Well, you also know that any artifacts that you find, you can bring those back and sell them to the Seekers Guild. And then they have people who, make sure that those things go to the appropriate places.
Anyway, like we'll have to stop by the Seekers Guild first, and then we can go talk to the Royal House.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Oh, you guys all coming to the Seekers Guild?
I mean,
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
We
Do we-
kind of do everything together.
Cool. Yeah.
do we?
It's like a. Yeah.
I hug him. Pat, pat, pat.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
You make your way once again through the bustling streets of Loamhaven into the city's walls. Actually, you're already within the city's walls because you made port. You pass by the Crocs Waddle and several other buildings. And
Are there windows into the Crocs Waddle?
Yeah.
Do I see the man?
Make a luck check. Say on a 17 or higher.
He's day drinking.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
9. No, you don't see him in there. There's not a whole lot of people present. It's like breakfast
That's probably for the best.
at this point.
Could be.
You arrive back at the Seekers Guild. Stepping inside, you see that there's the familiar short line of people waiting to be assigned to the various clerks. And as you approach, do you guys show your edict or anything?
Yeah. You got it, right? You got our actual one.
You actually got it. Yeah.
Well, we reached for it.
You both grabbed
and you said I need this, and I was like, okay.
You wrote it in your notes, I thought.
No.
Okay.
It's everything.
I should write it in your notes.
I said we have it. I didn't say me have it.
You drop
got
it
it. Yeah.
over
Yeah,
the edge
you
of the
show
ship.
it.
Be like, what is this?
Excellent. And who was your clerk overseeing your records?
It was
Eva.
Guthvar.
Kiva.
Here it was Guthvar, but where we actually got the edict, it was Kiva.
Oh,
Shock.
excellent. So you've wonderful. Yes, Guthvar.
And he points down the way. You see the brown bear there waiting. No one's in front. As you make your way down, he looks up.
Oh, a return. This is surprising.
We spoke with Kiva in the city. A lot has happened.
Oh, good. But the city stands.
Somewhere else.
When
I'm
we
going
say a
to need
lot,
an explanation.
when we say a lot happened, there's like a lot.
You see, he's
You
got like a
hold up
series.
a tome that you've written. Back.
I'm taking good notes here.
Yeah. I pull out the plaque, like the broken plaque that we had found in the
Oh, yeah.
ruins. Like we found this first.
Ah,
We were going to bring
oh.
it back as proof that the city was gone from its location.
I see.
Yeah, you guys go through and you give a detailed explanation of everything that occurred, and he's like,
Oh, wonderful. Well, it would appear you've already been gifted your edict. And Master Finley, are you allying yourself with this crew, as they've said?
he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna join up with what do we call it?
Currently the Emberflare envoy, but that's still
Sounds like we have the opportunity to change it to something that we
World Shapers
actually
cool too.
a couple of questions. Did you like he brought back his temporary one still and like a new temporary one or whatever?
Yeah, he wasn't anticipating coming with you guys.
I think it would be fair to give him his own in case he wants to form another group later, since he did technically complete his mission as well.
Oh, certainly. Well, Kiva has presented you with a singular Seeker's Edict. We shall forge some to match, and each member of your group will carry one.
Oh, okay. There was talk about payment. They weren't able to get to their money because of ruins. So, can we get any of that here, or do we?
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
Yes, we shall be reimbursed by the the Grunhelm chapter once they are back on their feet. In the meantime, and you see him open some drawers beneath where he is and kind of fishes through. And you can hear sort of like clacking of stone against stone within as he holds up, I guess now 5 little satchels. He places them next to him first, and he's like, so, do we want to make it official that Finley is part of the Emberflare Envoy?
Well, that's up to Finley.
I mean, yeah, I'm down if you guys will have me.
I mean, are we making Talos also a member technically?
He didn't seem like he wanted to be.
That's
Say unofficial.
Talos Emberhelm?
Right.
he's our ship master.
Oh, wonderful. Quite a well-known one, renowned. He, unfortunately, is already a member of the guild.
Right.
With his own crew. So
Right.
you need him present if he was going to change things around.
Right.
But if there are any name changes that you want while we make your induction officially official, then now would be the time, and Finley will have you sign here. He holds the same paper that has all of your signatures on it from before, with a little quill and ink. Finley grabs, signs his name into it, and
So,
Thoughts?
yeah, what are we feeling about the name?
I mean, I like Emberflare Envoy. I thought that was really good,
Mhm.
but
I also really like watching it.
It's
It
cool.
feels like it
It's
was
like-
given.
Yeah, we did that.
We
and it-
did
yeah,
do
it was
that.
earned.
I don't really didn't figure out. But my character doesn't feel that way, but I do.
Like,
there was also the Stoneforged, another thing they were calling you.
we could be the Cringe Weasels.
That's who we are now.
The Fart Brigade.
it's our mascot. No matter what we choose, our mascot's a cringe weasel.
Oh my god, now I want a puppet of one! I can just like bring it up.
You're like, no.
That's a really good
Fuck,
idea.
that is my next project. I'm gonna get Cringe Weasel fur. They're orange?
Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible.
Orange and white?
Yeah, they're kind of like fox colored.
Kind of like world shapers.
I really like World Shapers.
Like,
I'm flexible.
I could go
the,
either way.
the Emberflare is cool. That's where we all kind of became ourselves, but
You are welcome upon return to change the name at any time, obviously. But most people try not to do too many name changes if they're trying to make a name for themselves.
Well, you guys will be doing most of the talking when we're going out, right?
I feel like you talk too much.
Yeah. I'm trying to cut back.
I don't really think it's the things that come out of his mouth so much that are upsetting people.
I don't know. Seems like people get upset.
His butt.
It's his hands.
This is normal. It's not gross.
Oh god, I'm sorry.
I'm remembering that scene from Scrubs where like Turk is doing something with a patient and there's a fart noise and he goes, "Don't worry, it's perfectly natural." And they go, "You farted." He goes, "I know, it's perfectly natural."
It's worth noting, this bit became a thing before we got to the point in Adventure Time where Bubblegum shoots jelly beans out of her hands. It was incidental fart hands.
What, do we roll for it?
Sure.
Flip a quartz?
You know, at the very least, once you flip the coin, once you flip the chip.
What the chip?
I gotta get that with a
Once
straight
you
face.
pop the top, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Once you flip the chip, you know which head you want it to land on.
Exactly what I was aiming for.
Alright, so
So heads, World Shapers, tails, stick with Emerald Envoy? Or Ember Flare Envoy?
All right.
Even odds or what?
Evens is World Shapers, odds is Ember Flare.
Okie dokie. That's odd.
Oh.
Gotta deal with that.
Everyone feels
Did
satisfied.
you really want it to be even? Coin flipped?
I really did.
Well, we
I
know
think so,
we know what you really want, so that was really the point
What
of
do
the
you,
exercise.
how do you feel?
This is how Josh has always decided things historically. If he's ever asked me between A or B, whatever I say, he will pick the opposite. Like, it's because I know that I want that now. Like, all right.
So, what are we thinking?
I think we were changing it to the World Shapers.
An excellent choice. One moment. Kind of like flips through. Huh. It's available.
There's like, it's already taken.
It's taken.
It would be really funny if it was already taken.
for it.
Can we be World Shapers 1?
We're the World Shapers.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
We're lowercase x, World Shapers, lowercase
zero
x.
in it. Yeah.
You'd be surprised. People have done exactly those things, and technically, it is different.
All right. And now we
If you ever find yourselves out in the world and you run into XX Shadow Steel XX, that is not Shadow Steel.
Listen, we're not churches. We're churches with a V instead of a U.
Wonderful.
World Shapers, got it.
World Shapers, let me be the first to officially welcome you to the Seekers Guild. And he hands each of the 5 of you a little pouch containing 3 agate, about $30 each.
Okay.
For saving a city?
Technically, this is just for bringing back proof that the city was still there.
Yeah.
I thought that's what the other guy got.
Well, that was your initial mission.
It's true. The city might pay us more.
Even if you
maybe.
hadn't brought back proof, if you had just brought back the Seeker's Edict that she gave you, they would have been like, oh, you're official members, because a guild master brought you in. But she didn't have the money to pay you, which is the main reason that you're here.
Right. And okay, so now. Oh, thank you. By the way.
Certainly. Is there anything else I can do for you?
We needed a.
We were gonna go to the royal house and give them the letter from Kiva where they were requesting aid.
We'll talk about our next mission now.
Oh yeah,
we have
we.
to
I thought we were supposed to ask them to send aid down to Grunhelm.
I thought they wanted us to ask the house, like the royal house, to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They gave us like a letter to take to the royal house.
They didn't give you a letter.
Oh, they didn't give us a letter.
They were basically like, here's a Seeker's Edict. This will get you through the door.
Okay.
Please ask for help on our behalf.
I'll write a letter. When I was writing letters on the ship, I'll have written a letter.
Excellent. There's also a place within the Seekers Guild where you can have those delivered. They've got their own sort of. They function also as like a sort of postal service.
I'll give them the letter to Edith about the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so maybe we should tell them about what we're going to do next. Do you want to do that?
It would be good to have for our records. So if anything might happen to you, we'll know where your last known whereabouts were, or at least what your destination was. We're going to Ilvermere.
Yeah.
Oh.
Weren't we talking to someone about that before?
We talked to him about it before.
Was it him? Okay.
Well, if there is anyone who could beat the odds and return to us from that place, it's probably the 5 of you. Like, marks it down. You really have a knack for going places where other people have not come back from, don't you?
I mean, the one time so far.
So far,
Certainly.
100% success rate.
Let's hope that continues.
Let's hope.
So
Magnus mumbles something statistically insignificant figures under his breath. I'll write a letter also to give to them to send to the college to let them know that I'll have it sent to the headmaster to let him know that we did get our Seeker's Edict and that we're going to Ilvermere next,
Absolutely.
etc.
Yeah, and as you guys are stating all of this and getting everything sorted and filed away properly, you see as Guthvar is going through all of his things yet again, and there's this, he like turns around actually and goes, takes a few steps away from you for a moment as you're writing out your letters and discussing amongst yourselves, and takes your Seeker's Edict with him, steps into a back room, and comes out a few minutes later and has a small stack of them. And you see he takes this little like cylinder attached to a handle and rolls that in some ink and rolls the ink onto the Seeker's Edict and uses that as a sort of like stamp on the paperwork. Gives each of you your individual medallions now. Each of these is a Seeker's Edict. They are identical to one another, but they are unique among the guild. So if your particular Seeker's Edict is found on your body, you may be identified. Among other things, they're also functional as seals, as I've done here. If you have ink, you can use them as stamps for official writs and seals, any official works that you carry out under the guild's name. Now,
Alex, the ink.
let's talk about the bylaws. There's like this thick tome.
I'll go through that.
He just like slides it over to you, Magnus, and he's like, this will tell you everything you need to know about what is strictly legal and not legal under the various international laws of the nations of which we know that are still standing.
I will memorize the bylaws.
He goes through a bunch of legal jargon, which is basically like, you can use your Seeker's Edict to get into a lot of places, but not everywhere. And there's like a list of the countries that recognize the Seekers Guild, and another list of countries that do not recognize the Seekers Guild, and like what's off limits and what isn't. And yeah, it's like it'll probably take you a few days to pour through that tome and get everything down.
Not responsible if you die by dragon, by gelatinous food.
Yeah, or any other being that we have not identified.
If dissolved, please return Seeker's Edict.
Taylor would love that as a physical copy of something. Like the bylaws of an adventuring guild.
Yeah. There is also a section that, like, as you're just kind of like glancing through, doing some quick like sight reading.
Is this our copy that we can take, or do you need this?
This is for you, yes. Sweet. Members of the Seekers Guild, should they come into conflict with one another, you must call an official duel, basically. If there's a conflict between Seekers Guild members that comes to blows, two different teams, they must offer each other a clean blade, which is basically stating this will be settled in a one-on-one duel, the loser of which no one can legally retaliate for that loss.
Legally retaliate.
Exactly. They cannot legally dirty their blades after a clean blade has been offered.
Saying what happens at sea stays at sea sometimes. You know what I mean?
It's true. And I mean, yeah, who's going to know if the bodies are under the waves? But if that is broken, not only will you be, tried for murder in whatever area you are in, but you will also have your Seeker's Edict revoked. And you will be ejected from the guild.
Not optimal.
So basically, if you're going to kill another Seeker, do it officially. You got to say the words and have witnesses.
Until the last one's left. Yeah.
The forms must be obeyed.
And then, there's like paragraphs and paragraphs on like, there must be a witness present. And one of the witnesses must not be a member of the Seekers Guild so that they will not have sway. Like basically, there's got to be somebody outside of just your two groups to be a witness, to say like, yeah, everything was by the books.
Does that one come up a lot?
More often than you would think.
Oh boy.
Yes, well, sometimes, a group shows up at a dungeon or a ruin and they're excited to get inside, and then another group shows up and they're maybe already inside, and then the first group thinks to themselves, well, we've got to protect our loot, and the other group thinks, well, but if we just take them out, then it'll be our loot. Many Seekers have been ejected because of situations precisely like that.
I'll make sure to go through all of that.
Excellent. And of course, always be on the lookout for bandits and the like who are outside of the guild and doing things purely illegally.
And those we can just wipe out without having to offer them.
Oh yes, with impunity. One of the benefits of having a Seeker's Edict.
Is there like a lot of tales of bandits like hiding outside of ruins and like jumping people afterwards?
Oh, there's bandits like inhabiting ruins.
Yeah.
Who've like taken up residence there and
Never should have come here.
Skyrim.
Guess it was the wind.
So let's go to the castle.
Wonderful. Next,
And you guys step away, and another group is called forward. Out into the streets once again. This time, walking a path that some of you may have, treaded parts of before, but never to its full extent, as you head to the centralmost portion of Loamhaven, towards the ever-growing sort of plateau atop which sits Castle Lochbrana. As you approach, there are several carts that kind of drive by on the road in front of you and wait for them to pass before crossing. You approach, there are 2 guards present, closed gate between them. You approach and show your Seeker's Edict, and they nod. The gate is opened. There's another set of guards that are like directly inside that appear to be going through various bits of like training. There's some straw dummies that are set up that some of them are going through motions with spears. Others are having shield practice and sparring. One of them is called forward to escort you. They take your group into the castle itself, and along the walk, he introduces himself. Hello, I'm Captain Chavin.
Captain Chavin. And this is like a human person, or?
This is a human man, yeah. Human man, dark brown hair, who's, you can just see like a little strand of it sticking down from the helmet that he's wearing. He's got sort of a half-plate situation going on with a chain shirt.
We have word from Grunhelm.
Ah, it is my understanding that Grunhelm has not been in contact with anyone in the past fortnight, so this is excellent news. Follow me. And he leads you through this fabulous courtyard, and there's these tall, old trees that are just like twisting trunks and spreading branches. This time of year, they're beginning to drop their leaves that have all bled to orange and yellow. He leads you through this courtyard and up steps to this long chamber.
I'll give you the letter, Brody. That I around.
You enter the chamber, there's these large like wooden double doors that are already open, and stepping in there are just arches upon arches leading down this long throne room. And at the end sits who you presume to be King Ian.
How long is the letter that you wrote?
It's probably like a
Like,
full
is
page.
it worth like explaining it beforehand, or just being like,
I mean, you can give them the TLDR, but it's like that's like the stuff that they said they needed.
There's actually a brief waiting period outside, and you hear voices coming from further within the chamber, and after a few moments, you're walking inside and you see a man who looks to be some sort of shepherd of some kind, just wearing simple robes and walking with a staff, stepping out. An older gentleman who walks past you seems to be having his own audience with King Ian, as you are led in, as it is now your turn during his availability. Stepping forward, you see King Ian sitting on the throne. He's probably in his mid-50s, very, very strong, prominent features. He's got sort of a hawkish nose, a little kind of like curve to it, and very strong jaw. He's got long black hair that's pulled back, very like straight, pulled back into a ponytail, and a golden crown with pearls set into it is atop his head.
I'll tie my tie as we're walking in.
Yeah,
My
for
little,
sure.
the loose little bow tie.
Tie your tie, give everybody a quick fart on the way.
Hope it doesn't resound through like the chamber.
It is pretty echoey in here.
We'll do that on the way, like through the fighting
the idea
courtyard.
that you started at fart, went to, and then you're like, nope, that fart for a minute.
Still, yeah. Well, that change didn't work yet. Still
Had to revert it.
progress. Yeah.
Captain Chavin steps forward and motions for all of you to halt and calls out, "Presenting the World Shapers from the Seekers Guild." And he turns to all of you. What do you guys do?
I fidget.
Oh.
I take a step
like
back behind
yeah.
the brothers.
Yeah, there's like a moment where you're all standing there and Captain Chavin kind of,
On the edge for
Sire, we.
kneel to your king.
Oh,
I thought it was. Sorry.
I just fall on the ground.
Yeah, you all like, do you all get down and kneel?
I mean, do we recognize him as our monarch because we?
That's up to you. He is the king.
I kneel.
He is the king of Lokvara.
I guess I'll kneel.
And I'm like, it takes me a beat and be like, oh, okay.
He's kind of like copy what everyone else
Yeah.
is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after a moment, Captain Chaven's like,
I'd leave.
you may rise. Or actually, not even Captain Chaven, but there's like a kind of, you hear a bit of a chuckle. He's like, you may rise.
King Iron, a writ for you, sir.
Captain Chaven takes it from you and brings it up to him. He opens it and takes a look through it.
We have news from Grunhelm.
We see.
It's quite hard to believe, but the city seemed to...
Yes, well, after what we've been through in the last few years, few things are hard to believe these days. I thank you for bringing me this word. Aid shall be sent in the form of 1,000 soldiers who will march south towards the new location of Grunhelm, perhaps Grunshore, as it should be known now.
Was that in the notes?
Well, I don't know if I put it in the letter,
Also,
but
we should change the name.
I'm going to whisper to Brody, you might want to warn them that the land bridge path is dangerous. There were 2 Seekers Guild teams that were lost on that way, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'll give them the rundown of what the area's like and the dangers and how the new city's looking and whatnot.
Yeah, you relay all of that. Saoirse, can I have you specifically make a perception check?
Yeah.
What is this? The king is your mom.
9.
Yeah, I think on a 9 you're kind of transfixed. The throne itself seems to be like carved from the same stone that the steps that lead down to this section of floor. It's all this sort of like same marble, and it's very ornate, and oddly, I think you expected a lot of like everything is like crusted in pearl because it's so like fancy in here. But it's a lot more marble, a lot more like draped cloth on the walls. Whereas normally there would be like in temples and things, there's like stained glass, but here there's just like sheer cloth that's hung up that the light shines through and gives this sort of violet hue to the space. And I think you're kind of taken aback by like, oh, it's very like artistic, and the throne itself is actually asymmetrical. Kind of like curves upward, and looks like it actually may have been symmetrical at one point, but like part of it chipped and fell off or was broken. But yeah, you're kind of distracted by just the majesty of everything around you, I think, in this space.
It's all right.
I have the utmost faith that my soldiers and captains will be able to handle the trek to the south. There will be several Wraith Guard accompanying them that we can spare from the walls, who are trained in the ways of the vulgarities of the area, so that they might be even better defended. We will bring food and manpower as a form of aid to our friends in the south.
I'm going to whisper to Brody again. Can you ask him about the tablets? I can describe it there. Okay, fine. Your Majesty, I also wanted to ask. I was told by Kiva that it was known that the royal family was in possession of some ancient metal tablets. I'll describe what they look like. Is that true?
Yes. We have something that matches the description of what you've given in our possession. It's actually under the possession currently of Mage Feldir, our castle scholar.
Would it be possible, as a favor, for me to take a rubbing of the tablets for study?
My brother hasn't said it. He's a scholar from the university as well.
Yes.
He studies ancient Noxian specifically.
Yes, ancient Noxian is one of my specialties.
I see. A scholar of Vindovir University, I presume.
Correct.
I shall send word to Mage Feldir, and we'll have the rubbings sent for you at the Seekers Guild.
Would it be possible for me to take the rubbings personally, so I can ensure that they're complete in the ways that I need them to be?
I think I could arrange for you to be present for the rubbings.
That would suffice, thank you.
Excellent. I thank you for this news, and Grunhelm shall have its aid.
Perfect.
And Captain Shaven once again is like,
Kneel or bow or whatever.
yeah, you all kneel
Curtsy.
once more before standing and being led out of the chamber by Captain Shaven. He calls over another pair of guards that are on patrol nearby, and he's like, two of you, please escort these fine folks to the gates, and Master...
Magnus.
Forgive me, Mage Magnus.
Yes.
Please follow me. The rest of you are brought back to the gate in which you entered, and kind of just deposited out onto the street.
I'll meet up with you at the ship.
As Magnus, you are taken to another wing of the castle that, as you enter another set of large double doors, these ones closed previously, stepping in, you enter the most magnificent library that I think you've seen outside of Vendovere University.
Bad? Not bad.
There are hand-carved stone shelves that reach up to the vaulted ceilings that have to be probably 30 feet high, and ladders affixed to wheels that slide along them so that there's access to every tome.
My eyes are darting around, just like looking at the spines for like titles that
Read that,
I didn't
read
see.
that.
Yeah, like ones I've read, ones I haven't read. See if there's like any unique copies or any.
That one's a little cliche. I get it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that there's probably for every book that you have read, there's about 4 that you've never heard of. There are also a couple in languages that you don't recognize, as well as a few that you have read that you realize, like, oh, that's the original, like, handwritten copy. And yeah, it's a very lavish study.
Just making some mental notes. So I can like do a library transfer request or something later.
You approach Mage Feldir. The guard's standing by there. Captain Shaven is actually going to step forward and relay the order from the king to get you this rubbing, and for that you are present for it. Mage Feldir nods. He's an older gentleman who has kind of silver hair at the sides and is bald on top. Kind of tall and lanky, but very like saggy skin. Got quite his own waddle going on.
Right. Would he have heard of me, or would I have ever corresponded with him before?
I don't think you would have corresponded with him before, but I think you would know him by reputation, being the scholar of House Lochrana, like the official like scientist that the king has access to.
Whenever like I'll watch him do the rubbing, so make sure that he gets everything on him. But I also will ask if I can correspond with him in the future.
Certainly, yes. I think that we should certainly keep in touch, especially someone so versed in ancient Noxian. Forgive me, but I have heard of your work, Mage Magnus. Apparently, your deciphering of your own stone tablets at Caldronmore University has led to many a breakthrough in the recent years.
Yes, that is true.
Excellent. Well, I have studied your work, but I am by no means a master, so I look forward to what it is that you can pry forth from these tablets.
And I'd say, like, at a glance, instantly you notice these are probably either some type of aluminum or steel, maybe silver, but they are matte.
That's matte.
Yeah. They do not match the tablets that you are familiar with. But they do seem to have, as he's like taking the rubbing, they do seem to have those somatic notations. It does appear to be some sort of arcane in nature tablets.
Good. I'll make sure to send information back to you about what I discover.
Certainly, yes, that would be excellent.
And he takes the rubbing and rolls it up. He probably takes the rubbing, gives it a lacquer, and you take a moment for that to kind of dry before he rolls it up and ties it in a nice little bow for you and hands off this little scroll.
It's like running around with like books and like big tubes of
Yeah.
rubbings. It's like a nerd.
He bids you farewell, and as Magnus is led through the castle back out to the streets to make his way to the docks to rendezvous with the World Shapers, that's where we're going to end this episode of the Sparkwind Chronicles.
Woo!